Welcome students. Today's our topic is transmission line parameters. In previous lecture we are discussing about the short transmission line, medium transmission line and long transmission line and any other factors. Now before going further to the parameters, we are discussing about the voltage regulation. When a transmission line is carrying current, there is a voltage drop in the line due to the resistance and inductance of the line. The sending end voltage is we are denoting by Vs, and the receiving end voltage we are denoted by Vs. So the voltage drop is the difference between the sending end voltage and the receiving end voltage. So we can say that the Vs minus Vr is the voltage drop, and the voltage drop Vs minus Vr in the line is expressed as a percentage of receiving end voltage V, and is called the voltage regulation. The difference in voltage at the receiving end of the line between condition of no load and full load is called the voltage regulation and is expressed as a percentage of receiving end voltage. Now, regulation is defined as the change in voltage at the receiving end, but the full load is thrown off, the sending end voltage and supply frequency remains unchanged. Our frequency will not change. It is usually expressed of as a percentage of receiving end voltage, and the percentage of voltage regulation is defined as Vs minus Vr divided by Vr into 100. You see clearly in this formula. Now, second is the transmission efficiency. The power obtained at the receiving end of transmission line is generally less than the sending end power due to losses in the line resistance. The ratio of receiving end power to the sending end power of a transmission line is known as the transmission efficiency of the line. Efficiency of a transmission line is defined as the ratio of power delivered at the receiving end to the power sent from the sending end. So we can say that the transmission line efficiency, which is equal to VR IR cos phi R, VS IS cos phi S into 100. So we can easily calculate the transmission line efficiency. Then VR is the receiving end voltage, IR is the receiving end current. Similarly, Vs is the sending end voltage and IR is the sending end current. And cos phi R is the power factor of the receiving end, and cos phi R is the sending end power factor. Now, we also say that in term of receiving end, we can say that the VR IR cos phi R divided by VR IR cos phi R plus line losses. In the sending end voltage, when we can talk about, so it obviously it is receiving end plus the losses. It's both are included. So we can calculate the transmission efficiency. Now we are going to the short transmission line. As stated earlier, the effect of the line capacitance are neglected for a short transmission line. Therefore, while studying the performance of such a line, only resistance and inductance of the line are taken into account. So the equivalent of a single phase short transmission line, which is shown in this figure, here the total line resistance and inductance are shown concentrated or lumped instead of being distributed. So we are considering as parameters are concentrated. The circuit you see in this figure. So here the I is which is equal to the load current, R, capital R, which is the loop resistance, or we can say the resistance of the line. XL is the loop reactance. VR is the receiving end voltage. Phi R is the receiving end power factor, and in general it is lagging. Vs is the sending end voltage, and phi R, so phi S is the sending end power factor. So we have the parameter and we have the circuit diagram that we have the sending end here and receiving end here. The load is connected and the line resistance and line reactance is there. Now from this we draw the phasor diagram. From this we have OC here, the OC. square is equal to OD square plus DC square. So VS square plus OE plus ED whole square plus BD plus BC whole square. Now we put the value of which is OE is equal to VR cos phi r plus ED is equal to IR, and BD plus BC which is equal to VR sin phi r plus IXL whole square. So we calculate that Vs which is equal to under root VR cos phi r plus IR square plus VR sin phi r plus IXL whole square. Now from this the percentage voltage regulation which is equal to Vs minus VR divided by VR into 100. Sending end power factor cos phi s is equal to OD by OC. These all come from the phasor diagram which is equal to VR cos phi r plus IR by Vs. Power delivered which is equal to VR IR cos phi r, and the line losses are I square R. Power sent out is equal to VR IR cos phi r plus I square R. Now the percentage transmission efficiency which is equal to power delivered divided by power sent out into 100. So we can easily calculate the transmission line efficiency. Now when we talk about the medium transmission line, in short transmission line calculations, the effect of the line capacitances are neglected because such line have smaller length and transmit power at relatively low voltage. So the line capacitances are neglected. However, as the length and the voltage of the line increases, the capacitance gradually becomes of a greater importance, since medium transmission lines have sufficient length which is equal to 50 to 100 kilometers and usually operate at voltages greater than 20 kV. So the effect of capacitance we not be able to neglect. So in order to obtain reasonable accuracy in medium transmission line calculation, the line capacitance must be taken into consideration. So we have to consider about the line capacitance. So the capacitance is uniformly distributed over the entire length of the line. However, in order to make the calculation simple, the line capacitance is assumed to be lumped or concentrated in form of capacitor shunted across the line at one or more points. Such a treatment of localizing the line capacitances gives reasonably accurate results. The most commonly method which we are using in a medium transmission line, these are the end condenser method, nominal T method and nominal pi method. These three methods we are considered. Now for the end condenser method, in this method the capacitance of the line is assumed to be lumped at the load end, which is as shown in the figure. The method overestimates the effect of the capacitance. So for this, let the load current per phase is IR, lagging behind the load and phase voltage VR by the angle phi r. We just assuming that. Now assume resistance and reactance per phase of the line is R and X ohms respectively. Capacitance per phase of the line is C farads, which is connected here at the end of the line, or we can say at the receiving end. So the taking receiving end phase voltage as the reference phasor, from this we have VR is equal to VR 1 plus J0. Now the receiving end or load current IR is equal to IR cos phi r minus J sin phi r. Capacitive current IC, which is equal to J VR omega C, and we put the value of omega. So J 2 pi f C VR. Sending end voltage, which is equal to definitely IR plus IC, because that current is divided into two parts, that is going to sending and receiving end voltage and the capacitor both. So IR plus IC, which is equal to IR cos phi r minus J sin phi r plus 2J pi f C VR. Now voltage drop in the line per phase IS Z, and Z is R plus JX, and R plus JX is or we can say that impedance of the line, and which is now further we calculate, then We put the values IR cos phi r minus J sin phi r plus 2 pi FC VR R plus JX. Now we calculate and finally we got the result IR R cos phi r plus JX sin phi r plus Jx cos phi r minus R sin phi r minus 2 pi FC VR X minus JR. Now from this, phase voltage at the sending end Vs is equal to VR plus Is Z. Now the percentage calculation or percentage regulation, we have Vs minus Vr by Vs into 100. Now transmission efficiency, which we are denoted by neta T, power delivered per phase divided by power delivered per phase plus line losses per phase into 100. So we have the values, that is VR IR cos phi r plus Is square R into 100. So we get the value. Now we have the phasor diagram of the end condenser method. From this we can say that the phasor diagram, which is here, the horizontal line OA is the voltage to neutral at the receiving end. OD is the load current. IR that lags behind VR by the angle phi r, and DF is the capacitive current IC that leads the receiving end voltage VR by 90 degree. OF is the sending end current IS that flows through the line and is the phasor sum of receiving end current IR and capacitive current IC. AB is the resistive voltage drop ISR that is in phase with IS. BC is the reactive voltage drop ISX that leads the IS by 90 degree. OC is the sending end voltage Vs that is the phasor sum of VR, ISR and ISX, or we can say that VR and ISZ, and phi s the phase angle between the sending end voltage Vs and the sending end current Is is the sending end phase angle, and that determines the sending end power factor. Now for the nominal T method, we have to draw the nominal T. So we just break our line resistance and reactance into two equivalent parts and just consider the line capacitance in the center. So in this method, the whole line capacitance is assumed to be concentrated at the middle point of the line, and half of the line resistance and reactance are lumped on the either side, which you see clearly in this figure. Here the IR, definitely IR is the load current per phase, XL is equal to inductive reactance per phase, cos phi r is the receiving end power factor which is lagging, V1 is equal to voltage across capacitor, R resistance per phase, capital C is the capacitance per phase, and Vs is the sending end voltage per phase. Now taking receiving end phase voltage as a reference phasor. So VR is the reference, which is denoted by VOA. So VR is the reference. VR is equal to VR plus 1 plus J0. Receiving end or load current IR. IR is equal to IR cos phi r minus J sin phi r. Voltage across the condenser V is equal to VR plus IR Z by 2 is equal to VR plus IR by 2 R plus JX. We put the values. So VR 1 plus J0 plus 1 by 2 IR cos phi r minus J sin phi r plus JX. We put the value of the impedance. Now capacitance current IC is equal to J omega CV. We put the value of omega 2 pi f. So J omega 2 pi f C V dash. Sending end current IS is equal to IR plus IC. Both the current is in the sending end voltage is equal to IR plus IC. IR is the receiving end current and IC is the capacitor current. So IR, we put the value IR cos phi r minus J sin phi r plus 2 pi f C V dash. So Vs is equal to V dash plus Is R plus Jx by 2. So we have the sending end voltage, we have the receiving end So the transmission line efficiency neta T is equal to VR IR cos phi R divided by VR IR cos phi R plus IR square R by 2 plus IR square R by 2. So we have the transmission efficiency. So we have the phasor diagram here. In this phasor diagram, the horizontal line OA is the voltage to neutral at the sending end voltage. OB is the current in the receiving end half of the line drawn phi r degree behind OA. Phi r is the power factor angle. AC drawn parallel to OB is the ohmic voltage drop in the receiving end half of the line. CD drawn 90 degree ahead of OB is a reactive voltage drop in the receiving end half of the line. OD is the voltage across the capacitor. BF drawn 90 degree ahead of OD in the line. Charging or capacitive current IC. OF is the sending end current IS. DG drawn parallel to OF in the ohmic voltage drop in the sending end half of the line. GH drawn 90 degree ahead of OF is the reactive voltage drop in the sending end half of the line. OH is the sending end voltage drop and phi s is the phasor angle of the sending end. Now, at last we have the nominal pi method. In this method, the capacitance of each conductor is divided into two halves, one half being lumped at the sending end of the and the other half at the receiving end, where you can easily see in the figure. Its charging current must be added to the line in order to obtain the total sending end current. So, the half of the capacitor is at the sending end voltage and half of the capacitors at the receiving end voltage, and the resistance and reactance are at the center of the line. So, here also IR is the load current per phase, R is a resistance per phase, XL is the inductive reactance per phase, capital C is the capacitance per phase, cos phi r is equal to receiving end power factor which is in lagging, V is equal to sending end voltage per phase. Now, taking receiving end phase voltage as a reference, we have VR is equal to VR 1 plus J0, load current IR is equal to IR cos phi r minus J sin phi r, charging current at the receiving end ICR is equal to J omega C by 2 VR, line current IL is equal to IR plus IC, sending end voltage we have VR plus ILZ is equal to VR plus IL R plus JX. Charging current at the sending end ICS is equal to J omega C by 2 Vs. Now the sending end current is equal to IL plus ICS. Now in the phasor diagram, a horizontal line OA is a voltage to neutral at the receiving end VR. OB is the load current IR drawn by phi r degree behind OA. Phi r is the load power factor angle. The capacitive current due to capacitance localized at the receiving end ICR will lead the phasor VR by 90 degree and will be equal to 1 by 2 omega C VR in the magnitude. Now, let it be represented by line BC. The line current IL will be the phasor sum of IR and ICR and is represented by phasor OC. The voltage drop in the line is equal to phasor sum of resistive drop IL R in the phase with IL and reactive drop ILX in the quadrature with represented by DF. The phase voltage at the sending end Vs, the phasor sum of receiving end phase voltage VR and the line drop is represented by phasor OF. The sending current IS, which is phasor sum of IL and ICS, is represented by phasor OG. Now that's all for today. The next topic we are discussing in next class.